Hello and welcome to Yoma Samach Tet, Yoma 69. This is the Talmud Chachamim portion of the shir, sponsored by Ben Zion Lang. Waiting for the sponsors, of course. I'll make it also Lila Nishas, my father-in-law and my grandmother passed away a couple of years ago. So, the Nishmas Shlomo Yoel and Moshe David. We'll start with my father-in-law. That's my father-in-law's name. All right. The Gemara on Samach Tet Beis has a discussion based on the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, the Gemara says on Samach Tet Beis, "Megtani be'itzlit lava mishalo, mechlal dekriya elav avoda." It says, the Kohen Gadol, when he does the kriyas haparsha, he can wear his own clothing. But if he wants to, he can read with the bigdei kahuna. So you see, the fact that he can read without his regular begadim is not called an avodahi. But if he wants to read with the bigdei kahuna, he could read. So therefore, bishma shmina bigdei kahuna nisul lahanas ben. You can derive benefit from bigdei kahuna. What's the shaila over here? The shaila over here, I think this is the way Art Scroll explains it, is that the shaila is whether you're committing mi'ilah by wearing bigdei kahuna when you don't have to wear them. When you're supposed to be wearing bigdei kahuna, do the avoda. The Gemara in Erchin says that avoda is docha shatnez, and is presumably also docha me'ilah. Only says shatnez, but presumably it's also docha me'ilah also. Mila is only a lav, and the mitzvah of avoda is an avoda. You have to wear your bigdei kahuna when you do the avoda. Otherwise, you chayav kares. So the Gemara is assuming over here that you see that bigdei kahuna nisul lahanas ben, you could derive benefit from them even when you're not directly doing the avoda. The Gemara basically, and then the Gemara says, the Gemara brings a brisa. Tashma lo yusheni b'bigdei kodesh sheina hudalo hameichal achli. They wouldn't sleep in the bigdei kodesh, but they would eat. So how could they do this? And basically, the Gemara is really asking a question: how could it be that we know it's docha, the Isser, it's docha kilayim, docha me'ilah, the avoda, but when you're not doing the avoda, how could it do it? So the Gemara answers that achila and the Gemara answers that kriya are both called sorech avodahi. And I think basically the explanation is based on the Gemara. It says on the bottom of Samach Tet Aleph that the Gemara gives one answer. Ibai Yisem Ru'in the bigdei kahuna, when Shimon HaTzadik wore the bigdei kahuna outside of the Medina. The Gemara answers Ru'in the bigdei kahuna, that if you wear the bigdei kahuna in a state where it's possible you'll come to do the avoda, like when you're eating, it doesn't say. It says the only heter of eating is when avoda, when you do the avoda, when you eat the karbanos. But the brayso seems to allow all eating. So even if you're not doing the kavod, why is it called that tzorech avodahi? It's called tzorech avodahi because once you start eating, you're very likely, you're roy, you're fit. It's very likely that you might come to eat kachim also, and therefore also when you're reading kriyas Torah in the bigdei kahuna. You might come, it's part of the avoda. You might come to do the avoda. So since you might come to do the avoda, so that's called ru'uyin, the bigdei kahuna, and therefore it's permissible because it's nichlal in wearing bigdei kahuna for the avoda. It's part of the avoda. It might come to the avoda. That's also part of the avoda. Roy is considered kemuchzak, let's say. Then the problem with this Gemara is that the Gemara basically, and then the Gemara tries to be medayik. Sheina hudalo haluchim ahalchi at the bottom of Samach Tet Beis. You could walk with them. So guys, bedinu daluchi nami lo v'seif etzrichle poshim makaplim manichin tachas rosheim. Really, the Gemara's maskana seems to be before the two dots is that really it's aser. It's only a chiddush about sheina. So the Gemara's maskana is that walking with them, where it's not roy to do an avoda, so therefore it would be aser. Midoraisa. Then the Gemara after the two dots says Shma Mina from the fact that you could fold the bigdei kahuna and put them under your head while you sleep as a pillow. So it's interesting from this line before we learned that it's usher to be nana from him. And then the next line of the Gemara says that it's mutter lahanos mehen. What's going on over here? Like to answer this with the Gemara brings a whole discussion over here. It seems the Gemara first had a problem with putting it. The Gemara decided it was okay to put it under your head, and the Gemara says no, it's keneged roshein. And the Gemara says it has to be keneged roshein because of kilayim. There's a problem of kilayim, and the Gemara says really maybe there's not a problem of kilayim because it's hard. Hard is not considered a problem of hatzah. I want to say this whole Gemara. The second half after the two dots is not talking about levisha. Levisha is also even with bidei kuna that are hard, and avnate, even if it's made out of shatnez, it's considered to be levisha is going to be usher. Levisha, it doesn't matter whether it's hard or not. The heter of being hard of namta gamda denarsh, like the Gemara says, that's only by hatzah, but by wearing it, it would be a problem midoraisa. But hatzah is only derabanan because the Gemara says shama yicharech lo nima. Maybe it's gonna come and it's gonna something hard is not gonna extend and cover you and give you warmth. It's gonna remain hard on the bottom. It's not gonna extend, like the Gemara says. It's gonna be machrich leinima. It's gonna a string might come on top of you and give you warmth. That's not gonna happen with something hard. So this whole Gemara after two dots is only talking about an Indian derabanan. And the Gemara's maskana, the Gemara says tashma big dekuna yotze be'el medina asher mikdash bein b'shas avoda bein shalosh shlo b'shas avoda mutter. They should big dekuna nisul lahanos ben. The Gemara before the two dots concluded big dekuna ain't not lo nisnu lahanos ben when it's not a sorach avoda, when it's not roy la avoda, when it's not likely that you might come to do an avoda with them. Here the Gemara's maskana seems to be a nisul lahanos ben. So when I say this after the two dots, the whole Gemara is only talking about on a level derabanan of hatzah. That's why it says he's going out with them. He's not wearing them. It doesn't say a lowish ban. He's not wearing them. He's going out. He's carrying them with him, and he's going to use it for his purposes, to use it as a pillow or for some other purpose. And that the Gemara says, which is only Yisr Derabanan of hatzah of kilayim, and technically it wouldn't be called me'ilah because you're not using it the way you normally use it. It will only be the problem of kilayim Derabanan. And that the Gemara says in the Mikdash, it's mutter because lo gazra al shusam Mikdash. And Medina, it's asr because it goes there on shusam Mikdash. That's why Rashi says, the Medina asr shenoag ba derech chol. He says it's only derabanan. That's the article's medayik. It's only asr derabanan Medina. If we're talking about kilayim deraisa, actually wearing them, it should be asr Medina midoraisa. The fact that it's only derabanan, Rashi says, sees we're talking about a yotzeben. He's only using it. He's not actually wearing it, and therefore it's only an isser derabanan. And that would explain also this Bryce the Gemara by Shimon HaTzadik. It says he would go out lavash big dekuna v'nisatev big dekuna. It says two things: he wore big dekuna, and he was nisatev big dekuna. He wrapped himself in big dekuna. So I want to say that's the explanation over here. The lavash big dekuna he wore the big dekuna. Those are the ones that don't have shatnez. You can go out in Medina with. It's not the big tehuna. He wrapped himself with the tehuna. That was talking about the avnei. He didn't wear it exactly as a belt. He wore it in a way that it wasn't the way it was normally worn. So therefore, to avoid the problem of kilayim, which would be a problem, If you enjoyed the shir, please continue to listen, subscribe, and see you lang. Like it. Have a good day. Bye.